This is not a success story. This is a story about a boy who was completely failing at life, until one decision turned a pizza delivery driver into a billion-dollar brand founder. But the journey starts in the most hopeless place imaginable. A cold, dark room, with zero sales and zero future. A 19-year-old young man lives alone in a small, cramped apartment in a quiet part of the UK. The walls are dull, the lighting is weak, and the silence feels heavier than noise. Outside, rain falls slowly against the window, creating a constant rhythm that matches his thoughts. He sits on the edge of his bed, staring at his phone. His face looks exhausted, not just physically, but mentally. Around him are scattered bills, overdue notices, and reminders of responsibilities he can barely handle. Every notification feels like pressure. Every passing hour feels like failure. He doesn't speak much. There is no one to talk to. His world is small, repetitive, and suffocating. He wants something more, but he doesn't know how to reach it yet. That confusion slowly turns into frustration, and frustration turns into quiet pain. Still, every night he tells himself tomorrow might be different, even though deep down, he's not sure. At night, he puts on a pizza delivery uniform. The fabric feels cold against his skin as he steps out into the dark streets. The city is alive, but he feels invisible inside it. He drives through empty roads illuminated by yellow streetlights, carrying pizzas for strangers living lives he feels disconnected from. At every delivery, he forces a polite smile. "Thank you," people say casually, while he stands there thinking about how different their lives feel from his own. Between deliveries, he sits in his car for a moment of silence. He doesn't rest. He thinks. He questions everything. Is this my future? He wonders. Is this all I am going to be? One night, after finishing work, he returns home instead of sleeping. The room is dark, except for the faint glow of an old laptop. He opens it slowly. On the screen are fitness brands, online stores, and gym clothing websites. Something about it pulls him in. The energy, the branding, the lifestyle, it feels powerful. He stares at it longer than usual. His tired eyes begin to change. Not excitement yet, but curiosity. A thought appears quietly in his mind. What if I build something like this? That thought does not leave. Days pass. He tries to explore the idea. He watches videos, reads articles, learns slowly after work. But reality hits hard. He has no experience, no money, no support system. Still, he begins experimenting. He sketches ideas in notebooks. He thinks about brand names at random moments during deliveries. He saves inspiration images on his phone like secrets. But when he finally tries to launch something small online, nothing happens. A dashboard shows zero sales, zero engagement, zero response. He refreshes the page again and again, as if numbers might magically change. They don't. He sits back in silence. The room feels heavier than before. His mind starts attacking him quietly. Maybe you're not meant for this. Maybe you misunderstood yourself. The voice is not loud, but it is constant. Still, he doesn't shut the laptop. His mind drifts into his past, as a teenager. He worked in an industrial workshop. The environment was rough, loud, and physically demanding. Heavy materials, long shifts, constant fatigue. His hands were always tired, his body always sore. But he learned discipline there. He learned that comfort was not something life naturally gives. It is something you build. His grandfather used to watch him quietly during those days. Not speaking much, just observing. That silence taught him more than words ever could. Hard work was normal in his family. Giving up was not. Even then, he was different in small ways. When he wasn't working physically, he was training in a small local gym. Old equipment, basic lighting, no luxury. But inside that space, something changed in him. Every repetition of weight training became mental training. Every drop of sweat became proof that he could push beyond limits. Pain was not new to him, but purpose still was. At night, after exhausting days, he would sit in his bedroom with an old laptop. Slow internet, weak system, but he kept learning. He started exploring coding, confusing lines of text, errors, failures, retries. He didn't understand everything, but he stayed with it. Late nights turned into early mornings. The world outside slept while he slowly built understanding in silence. And then one ordinary night changed everything. While scrolling through gym apparel online, something clicked inside him. Not a full plan, but a vision. He didn't just see clothes. He saw identity, community, Motivation, a brand that could represent discipline and ambition. His heart started beating faster. He leaned back in his chair. The room felt different for a moment, like everything paused. This was the beginning that he started taking action immediately. Not perfectly, not professionally, just with effort. A small garage became his workspace. It was messy, unfinished, and far from ideal. But to him, it became something else entirely. Possibility that a sewing machine sits in one corner. Cardboard boxes stacked in another. Fabric samples everywhere. A small screen printing setup built from cheap tools. Nothing about it looked like a real business, but everything about it felt real to him. Some days, his grandmother joins him. She shows him how to stitch properly, how to fix fabric, how to be patient with the process. Her hands move slowly, but with experience. The atmosphere changes when she is there. It becomes warmer, more human, less stressful. It feels like family building something together, not just one person chasing a dream. But progress is not fast. Most nights are filled with exhaustion. He prints designs, fixes mistakes, repacks orders, redesigns logos, and starts again. His eyes burn from lack of sleep. His body feels drained, but he continues anyway, because stopping feels worse than failing. Then comes a breaking point. He checks his finances and freezes. Almost nothing is left. The numbers on the screen feel unreal. Outside, rain starts falling heavily again, just like the night he first realized his situation. He sits alone, staring at the wall, questioning everything. This is the moment where most dreams collapse. But instead of quitting, he makes a decision that scares him. He risks everything. With his last 3,000 pounds, he books a small booth at a fitness expo. It is a gamble. No guarantee of return. No certainty of success. Just belief in something invisible. The day of the expo arrives. Bright lights, loud music, crowds everywhere, influencers walking around, cameras flashing, brands competing for attention. The environment feels overwhelming. His booth is small compared to others. Simple, minimal, but it carries something different: authenticity. At first, people walk past without noticing. Then a few stop, then more. They touch the products, ask questions, take pictures. Something about it connects with them. Slowly, energy begins building. Then suddenly, everything changes. A group gathers. Attention increases. Phones come out. Social media posts start spreading. His booth is no longer ignored. It is being noticed. And then it explodes. Orders start coming in faster than expected. Notifications flood his phone. The website struggles. Refresh after refresh shows new sales. His hands start shaking slightly as he watches the numbers climb. He doesn't speak for a moment. He just stares. The same person who once saw 0 sales is now watching something he never imagined. Back in the garage, he sits alone with the phone in his hand. The screen glows in the dark. Notifications keep coming. He smiles, not loudly, but in disbelief. Years of struggle finally feel like they meant something. But success does not stop the journey. It changes it. The business grows. A proper office is built. A team forms. Meetings replace silence. Planning replaces guessing. Expansion replaces survival. He sits in rooms filled with ideas, strategy, and pressure. Decisions are bigger now. Risks are different now. But the mindset remains the same. Build, improve, move forward. Eventually, he makes a hard decision. He steps back from daily operations. Not because he is done, but because the company needs structure beyond one person. It is emotional. Letting go of control is not easy. But he understands growth demands change. Then comes global expansion. Stores open in major cities. London, New York, Dubai. Glass buildings glowing at night. People wearing the brand across different countries. A vision that started in a dark room now exists across the world. And finally, there is a moment of stillness. He stands in front of a modern glass building. The city reflects around him. Lights move behind him. But he is calm now. Not because everything is perfect, but because he remembers every version of himself that brought him here. The tired delivery driver, the frustrated beginner, the sleepless learner, the risk-taker in the garage. He looks into the distance as the sun sets. And in that silence, the final truth settles in. It was never luck. It was endurance. Dream big. Start small. Stay consistent. Never stop.